right, guys, welcome back to Two in the Zone. You have the one, the only, the GOAT, Dead Prez Picks, myself, AC. It is Wednesday. It's almost 3 o'clock there Eastern, so we're going to dive into some of the NBA games tonight for the playoffs. But before we do that, let me go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Seven Stack Sports. You've heard it many times if you've been on the show. It's the best book on Twitter. It's same-day payouts if you're using cryptocurrency. I think he's been tweeting some of the people he's paying out on the same day recently, reduced juice lines. And now with the baseball season in full swing, that's MLB, KBO, Japanese baseball, whatever you guys want, he's offering -1 and +1 lines. So definitely check him out. Give him a follow at the very least. If you sign up with him today, DM myself and Dead, and we'll give you guys free VIP plays today. Ed, how are you, man?
I'm great, brother. Yeah, excited to get into another slate last night, or tonight. Little problems for our teams last night there. So let's do a quick recap on last night's games. 2 blowouts, right? The road teams. Philly went into Miami, just got absolutely smacked every part of the game. They were outplayed in. And then your Mavericks, right? They looked good early in that game, and then it was just the second half. Really, that third quarter, the game got away from them. I mean, they went on a serious low scoring the basketball, which obviously killed them. But now 2 game sixes, right? Philly is favored. Dallas is not for game 6, but I think there's going to be 2 game 7s. I think Dallas does get it back at home, and I think Philly gets it back at home.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that Philly, we'll start with Philly first. I think what we're seeing, I agree with you. I think Philly wins game 6, and spoiler alert, I think they win game 7 too. But I think what we're seeing is a fatigued Joel Embiid, man. He's played 3 games in 5 days. He's literally carrying that team on his back, offense, defense. He's basically getting triple team before he even touches the ball. Like, the guy is, deservingly, he should be the MVP. He's the best player in the league right now, him and Giannis, in my opinion. So I think that was just fatigue, and I think it's a blessing in disguise, right? He ended up sitting for much of the fourth, as well as the other starters. I think what we need to see is Matisse Thybulle needs to step up for Philly, man. Like, he's the only guy that has a chance to even stop Jimmy Butler. There's no one else on that team that can stay in front of Jimmy Butler. If you're going to put Joel Embiid on him, I think that shows you how bad their wing perimeter defense is. So hopefully Thybulle gets some playing time. And then quickly on the Mavs, you're right, man. They had a great first half. I think they were only down 3 in the first. Yeah, it was plus 3.5, and they covered that first half. Third quarter started, and the Suns went on a 17-0 run. And it wasn't even like anybody killing Dallas. It was like Chris Paul didn't have a great game. I think everyone just stepped up. Yeah, DeAndre Ayton had a better game. Booker had a better game. Mikal Bridges had a better game, but it wasn't like one guy that was killing us. So hopefully, Dallas and Jason Kidd can make some more adjustments in game 6. I think they just got to sit Dwight Powell at this point because Ayton is just eating him alive. So, we'll see.
Where's Boban at? Put him in. He's got some size.
He's like a gentle giant, though. Like, he has size, but he's not gonna be physical on you. He'll just he'll carry you. Yeah, he'll carry you to the basket. He's so nice.
All right, guys, let's get into tonight's game. We got we're gonna get to the Bucks and Celtics. Feel free to please drop comments in the chat. Let us know what you're on. Let us know what you're thinking. We're gonna go over some props as well. But let's get to this Bucks Celtics game because I'm 4-0 on this series, AC. I don't know how you've seen it so far, but I've gotten every game to this point, and I feel really good about this one tonight with Boston here at home, -5, 5.5. You can find 5 at -112, 114. So I like the flat number here at 5. But I think the line's pretty indicative of this game. That for whatever reason, the Bucks have struggled the last 2 games in the fourth quarter. The last game they actually blew the lead, obviously ended up losing the game. But even the game before that on Saturday, they just couldn't close that game. The Celtics actually came back, took the lead there late. They're having issues closing games out. The win that they got in Milwaukee, I think those are the kind of series-changing wins because they didn't play a good game. They really struggled until that fourth quarter. But, fourth quarter, and Al Horford turned back the clocks, but Jason Tatum down the stretch, he was phenomenal. scoring the basketball. I think it's the Celtics tonight. Giannis is really tired in these fourth quarters, you see,
Yep.
because he's used so much more lifting now without Chris Middleton. I mean, they just do not have that next scorer. Drew Holiday has tried. He's done his best impression of Middleton stepping up scoring, but it hasn't been enough. So I love Boston tonight.
Dead Prez. I think we're like 11-1 or 12-1 when we align on a game.
Yeah.
I also like Boston tonight. I think Giannis is the best player in the NBA, so I think Milwaukee's always going to have a chance in a game, in a series, especially in a 7-game series. But what I mentioned with Joel Embiid and Luka Doncic to a little degree is these superstars more than ever have to carry so much more. And I think like you're seeing a lot of them. You're seeing a lot of them get fatigued in the fourth quarter or for the entire game. I think Embiid was just tired. And you're seeing that with Giannis, even though he's in his like physical prime, he should have the most energy. It's tough scoring 40 and grabbing 20 rebounds and playing, elite level defense as well. So I mean, I like Giannis as a player. I think he is the best player in the league right now, and he has shown that. And he's the current defending champ. But I agree with Dad. There's too many weapons on Boston, offensively and defensively. They can throw so many bodies at Giannis. So give me Boston tonight at -5.5. I know that's chalk, but it's not like last night where it was public chalk. Right now, Boston is kind of like a split bet between Boston and Milwaukee. So I do like
you're
Boston.
Gonna get a lot of action. You're going to get a lot of action on Milwaukee here as a dog. And, I understand why. Like, game one, I took Milwaukee when they were +5. Then I countered that with game two. I think it's a lot of feel. Who is the momentum? Right now, it's Boston, especially with that come from behind win in the last game. They lost. If they lost that game, I think, coming back from 3-1 on Milwaukee, that was going to be no easy task. But they know how pivotal this game is tonight, right? Because you could just say, hey, Milwaukee comes in and wins this. Boston's going to have some trouble going into Milwaukee and then winning another one at home. So, huge game tonight for Boston. But I also do like a prop in this game. I think that Grayson Allen's total is like 7.5 or 8.5. I love that where it is right now because they're going to need role players to step up in this game. And, Allen's a guy who, when he gets like, he could hit this in a quarter. Seriously, like, he's a great 3-point shooter. Mm-hmm. And he's going to get some looks. They're not going to all be clean looks, right, playing against Boston. But as much attention as Giannis requires, we know this, their shooters have gotten open. Like, they had a lot of, clappable misses in that first game. They had good shots. They just weren't falling. I think Allen's a guy who can become an X factor in this game tonight. So I like Grayson Allen on his over. And I like Al Horford to go under, even though he turned into Michael Jordan last game. I think I saw him at like 13.5 or 14.5. Just kind of a regressional bet. Like, he was great in the last game, but he's their fourth, fifth scoring option. Like, he's not really going to typically put 30 up. Obviously, posted a career high in that game. So I like the Celtics tonight. Those are a couple of props that I would check out as well, but I think Boston gets it done here at -5.5. Let's shift gears to the West Coast, AC. We're going to have the Warriors, or not the West Coast, Warriors, and it's in Memphis tonight for Game 5. Obviously, the Ja Morant news was just awful for Memphis to overcome. But here's the thing, my theory with them, like, Desmond Bane is hurt right now. Like, it is very clear that his back, he is not the same player that he is. So I don't want to say they're down their two best players, but like, Bane's probably playing at 50% at the moment. So the Warriors here are -4. That last game was tough. Obviously,
choked it.
Yeah, they just kind of choked it away. I mean, in my opinion, that game was their last straw. Like, they're not winning 3 in a row against Golden State. But do you think they win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that last game was sad. I didn't have any money on either side. But I was pulling for the Grizzlies just because of the underdog. They're without their superstar. I want to give props to just that team in general, right? They battled to the end. They choked at the end. They were up big in the fourth and just let it slip away. Steph Curry with the flop of the century on that rebound to get the call there. But I think Golden State's going to blow them out tonight. I think that was the game that got away, and then this is the game where I don't think it's going to be close. I think when you first lose your superstar, you kind of have that initial push, that initial oh, we got this for one game. But for the second game, I think there is going to be a letdown. I could be completely wrong. This is the youngest team in the league. They never been to this, spot of the playoffs before, like this group of guys. So maybe they come out and just go on fire. Dylan Brooks has had an awful series. Ejected in game 2, suspended in game 3. Game 4 was awful. So
She was
I don't
just
know. Yeah, like he's just horrible. Who I love on this team is Tyus Jones. He's, in my opinion, the best backup point guard in the league. It used to be TJ McConnell, my guy, on the Sixers, but now it's Tyus Jones, and I love his prop, over 6.5 assists. He should have had that last game, but Dylan Brooks went like 1 for 40 from the field. I think, obviously there's going to be some better shooting tonight. So I like Tyus Jones to grab the assist prop, but I think the Warriors are going to blow him out. What about you?
I agree with you about Tyus Jones, but you know how bad Knicks fans are down? I see Knicks fans all thinking Tyus Jones going to come in and save that franchise. I mean, he's a nice backup, but I mean, what is he really going to do?
I really hope the Knicks throw max money at Tyus Jones or Jalen Brunson.
I think they're going to do it to Brunson. That's my guess. My guess is they max. Now, if they got Mitchell, that's another thing, kind of spewing around that Donovan Mitchell might end up there. That would help, but Jalen Brunson and max – he's going to get it, I think. Someone's going to overpay him. He's a good player. I don't know if he's that. Yeah. All right, my thoughts on this one. Just wrote up a piece over at OC. So I love the Warriors tonight at the -4 line. And you guys know I typically do not bet, super public tonight. I get it. They're going to be, everyone and their mother on them. But sometimes, it's just simplifying things. Like the thing is with road games, you see it with certain teams where like a road game really bothers them. The second round of the playoffs is nothing to this team. Like they've played in way more, difficult environments and bigger games. So a second round playoff game for the Warriors, really, they're playing in a I wouldn't even say hostile environment. Like Memphis is good fans, but I think they're pretty deflated after that last game. Yeah. You have that big lead without Ja, and then you just blow it. And that would have been a huge road win, right? Because then technically it's 2-2. And Memphis is the home team. Like they kind of control the series, even though they're down Ja. But yeah, I don't see a way that they get this done tonight. I typically don't think a first half is important in the NBA, but I think tonight's is really important because if the Warriors come out and they get up, 10 to 12 points early on them, I think they could just mail it in, honestly. But if it's reversed where the Grizzlies get a little bit of a lead, so I think that those first 12, 24 minutes are going to be really, really key.
That's a great point because, Golden State started game 4, 1 for 18, 1 for 19 from 3. There's no way they're going to do that again tonight. So, they're going to make a bunch of more threes. And one thing that Dead pointed out, which I love, is Golden State's a veteran team. They know that rest is important at this juncture of the playoffs. They need to take care of business tonight, and then they'll have an extra, 3-4 days of rest before they play either Dallas or Phoenix. So, their guys are older now. They need the rest. Some of them have, injuries that they're dealing with. So I do think Golden State comes out pretty hard and pretty motivated to just get it done tonight.
I love it. We have some questions about some props in this game. I just gave out this one. Draymond Green under 7.5 points. He hasn't gone over this all series, and last game he only shot twice. The other games he shot 3 times and then won 4 times. So technically he would have to hit every shot that he shoots. He just doesn't shoot a lot, right? Poole's going to get a bunch of shots. Obviously, Steph and Clay are going to get a bunch of shots up. Wiggins actually shoots a lot more than people think. But like there are other players. Otto Porter comes in. He gets his. He gets his shots up. Kuminga will put a few up. Draymond's just not going to shoot. Like even you could literally leave him wide open at like the foul line and his back's going to be turned, trying to give it to Steph, trying to give it to Clay, trying to give it to Poole, and it works. It's not like an issue. That's just how he plays. But yeah, I like Draymond's under a lot in that game. Andrew Wiggins, I like his over on rebounds. The thing with Memphis at this point is like you're playing with a very injured Desmond Bane, who's maybe at like 50%. Like I said, you're without Ja Morant. Dylan Brooks hasn't played very well.
He's been
right?
Awful.
And it could be something mentally too, right, with what's going on. With the bad blood in the series. He was brutal in that last game. Now, tonight I understand he'll have his home crowd behind him, and I get that can definitely help. But they just don't have enough guys that, strike a threat into me. Like, when you look at the other side and you say, all right, Steph and Clay, and like, this is a team who's played in every type of environment. They've dealt with everything. A game 5 where they can close the series in Memphis, the home factor doesn't play much. Like, if this game was in Golden State tonight, they're minus 10 or minus 11. So I think the 4-point spread is a steal because I don't look at this like a road game, even though it technically is for this team. And trust me, at their age and their experience, they know how key it is to close this out tonight and get some rest for what's likely going to be Phoenix and what could be an all-time series.
Yeah, props for me is going to be the Tyus Jones over 6.5, and a little bit agreement here with Dad. I'm going to go with Draymond Green assists. So I think he's going to be able to share the ball tonight. His number is also at 6.5. So I like both to get over 7 assists tonight. Tyus Jones and Draymond Green basically playing point guard.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where he is right on this team.
Yeah,
I mean
he doesn't even look at the basket to shoot.
That's what I mean. Like, he's legitimately not trying to shoot the ball. Like it's at that point. So I mean, he's not going to be, posing much of a threat scoring. Obviously, I love that assist angle because of what we have talked about. All right, guys, it is time for our best bets for our last few minutes of the show. We appreciate we have had over 1,000 people so far jumping in and out of the chat. If you've stayed with us the whole time, we appreciate you. If you jump in and out, we still appreciate you, but you should stay in so you don't miss anything. It is time for the best bets. We've killed these all season long, AC. If you want to kick us off, we have hockey tonight. We have, baseball. We have basketball. So we have a lot to cover. But give us your best bet of the night.
Man, so I'm getting crushed right now with the Brewers. They're down 8-4. Hauser just got lit up, the first couple innings there. But I'm going to stick with it in baseball. Ohtani's pitching tonight for the Angels, so usually I like to fade Ohtani, but I'm not going to touch that game. I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers on the money line tonight, Dad. Detroit is playing Oakland. Oakland, as everybody knows, has zero pop in their lineup. They really can't manufacture any runs. I like Detroit Tigers money line minus 120 tonight.
All right, I'm going to stay on the diamond there. I do like that Detroit look, but you were brave because yesterday I bet on them and they had like 2 hits all game. So I'm tired out for the moment. But I'm going to stick to the diamond here, and I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves. Crooked number last night was put up in that first inning by the Red Sox. They were just kind of put out of the game in the second inning. I believe the Red Sox actually dropped I think they dropped like 6 runs in that second inning. So we got Ian Anderson tonight on the mound. Atlanta just won a World Series, they say. Now they're under 500. Obviously, the Freddie Freeman blow, but they bought in Matt Olson. Like, this is still a very, very good team. I mean, you could argue
and they got Acuna back.
Yeah, like over a 7-year window, you could argue Olson's going to actually make out better than Freeman at their ages and what Olson has actually done. So it's not like they are a bad team at this point, but I think they're going to start getting back on track. Boston struggled too. I mean, they're 2 good teams underachieving at the moment, but I think that their pitching advantage tonight with Ian Anderson, you have Eovaldi on the mound. So, like, when Eovaldi's a dog, I think sometimes it's for a reason. He is the better pitcher in this matchup, but I think the way it's priced and the way the line looks, I like Atlanta here tonight. I think Ian Anderson is a undervalued arm on the market. So give me the Braves at minus 120. That will be my show best bets. Make sure you guys hop on that, when you can. And then AC is going with the Tigers. So you want to throw a little parlay together there. Make sure.
There you go.
Yep, for sure. And one more time, AC, we got to shout out the GOAT, 7 Stack Sports. Minus 1 MLB lines, guys. Minus 1 MLB lines. We do these all the time. And, please make sure you guys do take advantage of this. You just give them a follow right there on the screen. They're doing giveaways every day. AC and I tried one last night, but the Wild did not come through for us. But we've had really good luck on them for the majority of the season. But give him a follow. Shoot him a DM. If you guys get signed up again, you guys can DM me or AC, and we will hook you up with some free VIP. Just make sure that there's proof. It's 24/7 customer service. And AC, if you're a crypto guy, you get same-day payouts in cryptocurrency. You got to love that. So make sure you guys get hooked up with the best sportsbook on Twitter.
All right. And so to review, you and I align on both NBA games tonight. We like the Celtics and we like the Warriors. So everybody, good luck on your bets. Have a good one.